Go for it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Therapy of the Absurd. How's everybody doing?
Hi.
Hello. I decided to make more of an entrance today. Hello, people.
Hello.
the wine. Like today is the day I need wine, so I feel you.
I took my CBD gummy bear and I'm feeling great.
I need one. I need one of those. I have one of those. It's too far away.
It's, as Mitch Hedberg said, it's kind of like your pen and paper when you thought of a joke.
Right.
Yeah, I need to get that in the shower, man. I need an easel board in the shower, and you're the crapper, dude. Because I get some really good jokes, and then they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can take care of other things if you draw really well. So really subtle joke.
Wait, so does everybody get inspired in the shower?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Is that what they call it? No.
Very much.
I had an ex that would like to fight in the shower. He would be pretending to fight with me in the shower, so he would have like these like yelling arguments, and I'd hear him like screaming. And once it freaked, like the first time it happened, and I realized it was totally normal for him. Apparently, I was like, "Are you okay? What's wrong? Who are you talking to?" And he's like, "You." In my head, this is why we don't fight in person. It's because I'm doing it in the shower.
Oh, you should have filmed it.
Okay. I gotta tell you, Stacey, like when you said fight with you in the shower, I was like, Stacey's sharing some personal stuff. Like I was just like, are they fighting in the shower? Like, oh my gosh. Like in my mind, I had you in the shower with him, and that's what you were telling us just now. And I was like, okay, yes, we are personal, live and up close right now. Okay, got it.
No, he didn't Chris Brown me. In his mind, he did, but not in person.
We have Sergio. Sorry,
now
Sergio
I got it.
here. I have arguments in the shower.
See, I guess it's healthy.
Yeah, I do that at work. They get pissed off. It's not appropriate for a Zoom call. Well, you wanted to have this early, so not my fault.
Yeah. How was everybody's week?
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's okay. Like I just now looked up. I was like, okay, all my lights are off. Like I'm like, what is happening right now? Okay. It is.
I was a little disappointed. I found out a movie I wanted to see wasn't out, but it says it's out. And then I further read what was going on. It's a like a horror zombie movie called Train to Busan. It's a Korean one, and they have
I think I've heard about that. Like, I mean, I think I've heard of it or something.
That's one of the best zombie movies ever. But
modern wise, yeah. It's
get
really
your
good.
Kleenex. Not for the same reason of other videos. Get it ready for like Train to Busan.
It's really. I think it's on Netflix. If anybody has a Netflix, definitely check it out. Train to Busan, Korean zombie movie. It's got some really well written characters and drama in there. But they made a sequel called Train to Busan 2 Peninsula, and it says it already came out, but I looked everywhere and I couldn't find it until. And I'm not gonna condone this, but there are, and I won't say where, but people can figure it out on their own. There are places that unfortunately have a bootleg version with really bad visuals. The visuals are just really bad.
Wait, in order to get
it's the whole
they had
movie.
to, in order to get a bootleg, they had a pre-CGI finishing version or something that someone grabbed.
Like, buy a 4K camera if you're going to do this, folks. I don't recommend it, but just saying. Just saying,
Yeah, I remember those. Hey, you want to watch this bootleg this bootleg video? Your friend starts it, and you're like, "Isn't that a fucking audience? Like, are we watching the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version here?"
Oh,
which is good for some movies.
Oh my God, that reminded me. So my dad, my biological dad, he was very cheap with me when we were kids, and he would never take us to the theaters. He would never take me to the mall. My clothes would come from like the Santee Alley in downtown LA, where they like sell the really cheap Chinese stuff that gets imported, or swap meets like flea markets.
Oh yeah.
But he would buy those bootleg movies every single weekend because he would not take me to the theaters. They were $5. So I would get that newest movie coming out, but every time I'd either hear a baby crying in the background in my movie that's not supposed to be there, or a big head walking by every 5 minutes.
Oh my God. Like, so you are a baby of the bootleg era for real. Like the bootlegs eventually got better. I may have bought one or two in my day, but like, just because I had this whole, like, I worked in the industry, I don't want to steal from people. So I very seldom bought them, and it was just a thing. But like but I've never, whatever one or two that I've bought, I never saw those, but I would hear about those. And I'd just be like, but people couldn't possibly be like buying those and taking them home to their families. And now I've met a child who grew up with, the parents who did that.
And it was always a Hispanic guy in a backpack that sold them too. Like, you would think they were dealing with drugs. They're like, hey, I got what you want. You want. Here, watch the movie.
I would say African American over in my neighborhood. That's what so that's what they would have, either a duffel or a backpack. No one had them out on a table, but either a duffel or a backpack.
Well, it's like this guy says, "Hey, I got this bootleg copy of the Titanic," and you're like, "Hey, why was it missing the nude scene? I was busy then."
Yeah, I think the Train to Busan glow. If I'm not mistaken, I guess it's not Netflix. I believe it's Amazon Prime that has it on there. I believe it's Amazon Prime. Well, I know it's one of those streaming sites. I'm pretty sure it's Amazon Prime. It's not Netflix that has it. And it's a cheap rental anyway, so if you get a chance to definitely check it out, it's pretty damn good actually. And
just
it's not
get
that
down
old,
to your local Blockbuster and get some Train to Busan.
or Redbox. I mean, you can Redbox it with a mask on. I mean,
yeah, that's true. I was at the store today.
Wait, they still exist?
The Redbox?
Which one?
Yeah.
Redbox or grocery stores?
Yeah, Redbox. Oh.
Yeah, everybo's got their mask on, but touching the same touch screen. It's freaking awesome.
Wear your gloves. Wear your gloves.
That.
I saw a piece today that did say, interestingly enough, that in LA that the virus is still spreading at I named 3 places: supermarkets, LAX, and I cannot think of the other place, but that someone had actually swabbed, and like they're doing, because they've got these people going out swabbing and doing some different things, and those were 2 of the 3 places that I saw on that piece. Google feed. Does everybody like the Google feed? I don't want to run. I'll have to put it in our topic list. Does everybody like get tons of news stories on your Google feed? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No? I do. I really wish that if they're going to send me them from Huffington Post, it's not the fluff pieces about celebrities. I don't need that.
Let me tell you how you fix it. It's just like Apple Music. You can curate it. So if you start like searching on things that you want to know about, in no time, your whole feed will only be the stuff that you are interested in or that have anything to do with you. I was driving Lyft. A woman got in my car and she was like, I wonder, is the coronavirus affecting Uber and Lyft drivers? And I was like, are you kidding? Because in my Google News feed, that's all the articles. Every article was Uber or Lyft because it was being curated around, whatever anything I read, I would get more of that. And so if you want to change it, just start either, tell it you don't want that, or thumbs down it, or whatever it is, or like start looking at the stuff you want, and you'll start getting your own personalized, list of stuff that you are interested in.
Oh, I just got an email from Lyft though. They said that California is proposing seizing Uber and Lyft. Like, Lyft sent the email out, so apparently they want us to take action. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
I wonder if it has to do with the video that I saw recently. There was a Lyft driver, and he had spent time putting up a plastic thing he bought for his car, and this total like jerk ass, as I would say it, in the background, just pushes over and then grabs the guy while he's driving. Like, you're a special kind of dumb if you're like, I'm taking you out. What about you? I don't care. Ah.
You're a special kind of awful. But yeah, also I read that Uber is saying that they're going to shut down in California because of some new legislation. So, I mean, I'm in my house all day. I'm not driving at this time. So,
do they want to give drivers benefits?
No, they don't. They don't. No, they don't. They don't give drivers benefits. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like someone says, "Yeah, you want to be friends with benefits," and then just invite you over for video games and Netflix, and that's it. It just stops.
You're like, dang it, man!
It's like commitment. It's like you're already friends with benefits, but you don't want the full relationship because that relationship would consist of workers' comp and health insurance. So they're like, no, I like you, but I don't like you like that.
That right.
Yes. Well, so today we had something we wanted to talk about, and we're going to talk together about our bad past job experiences. Everybody got one ready for us? Something that happened at work or something that you can talk about that won't get you in trouble?
I can start it out if you'd like.
Sure, go for it.
I was a third key manager at a place called Suncoast Video.
They probably don't exist, right?
Out here they don't anymore, but they do still exist.
Okay, you're safe.
And it was in the Torrance Delama Mall, and I had to open up the store in the mornings. And sometimes run a little late, not super late. But the worst part is eating your breakfast really fast, not having already handled everything, if you get my drift, what you do in the morning, and having to open up the store like 5 minutes late because I'm stuck on the toilet in the store. And then my boss is ringing on the phone. You're not in the bathroom again, are you?
Not again.
Yeah, not again, man. Come on, bro. He's like, you can't time that at home. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's like lava.
Yeah, I'd have this. Yeah, seriously. I'd have this old guy like shake the gate. Are you open? Hello? Hello? It's 10 o'clock.
My Viagra's gonna wear off. I need the porn now.
Right.
Oh yeah, But that's one of mine. Anybody else want to share?
I have to be vague with mine because I got screwed over anyway. But I wear hearing aids. I lost a good part of my hearing, and I have really bad permanent severe tinnitus. I lost it at work, and I had such an incompetent supervisor. As soon as I lost it, I let him know. I'm like, hey, this plane just passed by on our lot, and my hearing went completely out. I had to text him because I couldn't really hear, and he was like, oh, I'm really sorry for you. And I'm like, I really can't hear. I need to go to a doctor. He's like, okay, you can go to your doctor. And so I went to my doctor, and they're like, you have to go to an ear doctor. You have to go to ENT. And so I went to an ENT and so forth. They confirmed that I had hearing loss and all this. And I kept requesting urgent care. So here's the thing, guys. You need to go to a work doctor. Like, they have to refer you to a doctor. It's necessary. I asked for one, and I was denied one repeatedly. But if you don't know if you get injured at work, make sure that you beg for one. If not, get on the phone with a lawyer. It took me a little bit longer. I should have gotten on the phone with a lawyer immediately instead. Just remember that HR isn't there for you. They're there for the company that they work for. I learned that the hard way. It's been about, I think we're hitting 3 years already. But yeah, make sure you document everything. Emails, text messages, that's everything. The only thing that saved me. I got not lucky, but had I not done that, it would have been a complete lost cause. And I still fighting for the medical attention that I begged for a long time ago. Yeah.
I mean, my father said
Definitely.
everything changed when they went from employee relations, which is what it used to be called, to human resources. So the department was employee relations, and they used to have a relationship with the employees, and then it became human resources. They'll build our pyramid. So
Yeah. So this is just an FYI to everybody. Just make sure that if you get injured at work, you notify your employer right away, and make sure that you have that documented, and then make sure that you ask for medical attention from them. They have to refer you to their urgent care of choice or whatever doctor, whatever they refer you to. And if they don't do that, you get on the phone with a attorney immediately, because it could be something that takes a while. And unfortunately, I found out the hard way after going on Reddit and going into a couple of subreddits for workers' comp that it's very common. And because we don't know this initially, that's why it gets to the point that it gets prolonged for years. There are some people that are still fighting their claims like a decade later.
Wow. My worst job experience, it was just very annoying. I was a pregnant woman working for a charity, and it had just become a very difficult job to do, and people weren't very nice. And I started looking for another job, and not great wisdom, but I was an assistant with another assistant, so we would, we kind of had the run of the office. So I snuck my resume out through the fax machine, because that's where we were. But let me see, the woman who ran the charity had a home in like Malibu, and I guess she thought highly of my work, but there were other people, I'll say it like that, would come into the office, and they had gone through my things and found out that I was looking for another job. And so she cornered me one day at her freaking house in Malibu, like, well, when are you quitting? I was like, I didn't say anything about quitting. Well, you're looking for another job. I was like, but I haven't tendered a resume. She was like, but when? I said, I don't have a date. I said, because the thing was, she didn't want to be responsible for unemployment. And if she fired me, then I'd be eligible for unemployment. So she was trying to force me to resign. I said, I'm not resigning. I said, if I find another job, but I don't have it. Well, when are you, is it? I said, I don't. But it was very frustrating. It was very I have to say, it's my child is grown, and that annoys me. And me and that woman have made amends. I've seen her, and she just has recommended me glowingly for all these things. But I just felt like that was the wrongest ish I had ever been through. And everybody that I talked to basically said that there was nothing I could really do, because on their spot, it's not that your property is not your property, but they have a right to whatever is in that space. It was just the craziest ish I had ever been through. And I just thought, this is awful. This is awful. And I just couldn't believe it. And when I talked to an attorney about it, there's not a lot you can do. Your case is, I'm praying right now, but it's California's an at-will state. And so I wasn't contracted. So I think that was the interesting thing about it. So at the end, it was just kind of this standoff, because it's not an at-will state. You're going to have to fire me if you want me to go. And I don't have to leave if I don't, if I'm not ready to go, if I don't have another job, you can't make me resign, but you can fire me. That is your choice. And it was just, it was just the wonkiest ish I have ever. I was like, what? Anyway, so that's my bad work experiences. Yeah. I feel like we deal with that, these horrific politics, and it's just kind of the great movie Triumph of the Will, and that's what it turns out to be, whose will is the strongest in this situation.
Yeah, I think the other one that I can bring up really quick or shortly is when I worked at Quiznos. I had a boss. He was from China. He could be nice every now and then, but he would. I was told to me later by another person that worked there that spoke his language that he didn't like me very much, so he would say bad things about me in Chinese. And to get me to move faster, you know how Quiznos has those little hot trays the sandwiches sit on when they go through the conveyors? He would hold it with tongs and burn my arm.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, to make me move faster. No bullshit.
How old
Everything
were you?
I have to say sounds weak now.
How old were you?
This was maybe over 10 years ago.
So how?
10,
So
11, 12 years ago.
you were grown up though.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm not gonna lie because I'm a human as much as anybody else. I'm not a violent person, but I wanted to punch the shit out of this guy.
Did you know that he wanted? Did you know he was doing it on purpose?
The cashier lady would tell me that he's a pretty aggressive guy, and he finds indirect things to do that he claims are accidents. And she explained to me when he walked away that wasn't the first time she'd seen something like that happen. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is when when the lady told him, who she's been there like 5 years at the time when I was there, to get burn ointment, he refused. So she had to leave the register, have a customer wait. They get the burn ointment, then put the burn ointment on my arm, and then she rung up the person. But he didn't say anything the whole time. He just stayed in the back after that. Happened to me twice with him.
That's just it's a prick and a half. I mean, I guess I'll go because, but I can't top that, Stefan.
That's not even the worst of them. That's just one of them.
So I've actually quite a few, and I'll bring it up. First of all, my first job, I was a courtesy clerk at a supermarket. Do you know what that is? It's a bag boy. Say the right goddamn word. It's a bag boy or bag girl, and no matter what age you are, it's bag boy or a bag girl. Just deal with that shit, okay? And just work your way up to register if you don't like it. I did not, because I was, like, hey, man, this is enough, and my 16 hours is great. But there's this one lady, there was a couple crazy customers that would come in, right? So we had one customer come in, she go, can you help me out to the car? And everybody knew she has animals in the car. So you get to the car, there's a parrot sitting there on the top of the seat, and she goes, put the bags in, don't worry, he won't bite. And the whole time you're doing it, he's like, and you're like, what do you mean? You must have cataracts, bitch. And so, yeah, we had this other lady that came in. It's like closing shift, and you're just like, she comes in, and I go, paper or plastic? It's the routine, okay? Back then, because I'm old, somewhat. So I go, paper or plastic? She goes, I come in here all the time. I always get paper inside of plastic. Why don't you guys know what it is? I go, oh.
Karen.
This was before that, but yes, she was the crazy cat lady. Karen, and we knew she was a cat lady because the smell. Yeah, you're not supposed to keep the hamper by the litter box. Everyone needs to know that. And then the worst thing actually came from the company itself. They had this thing where anybody that had 2 or more bags, by the time you end up bagging it, you were supposed to ask them, do you want help out? Now, this was after I'd been there for a couple of years. You establish a relationship with the customers, but I get a new manager. And this manager's all Mrs. Corporate. And so I'm bagging right there. And this guy in a wheelchair, we all know he's a weightlifter from the waist up, of course. And he just rolls up, and I have 3 bags, and she stares at me. And I'm like, no. She stares at me. I look at him. I go, do you need help out? And he just gives me this look like, you know me, dude. I'm like, he can kick my ass from the chair. Why are you doing this to me, manager? Right. He's a weightlifter. Like the upper half of him was just, ugh. And the other half was for aerodynamics, I guess. But
right.
And then the other bad job, I guess I could say, is pizza driver. I think that's all I have to say. No, but I've had a guy, when you deliver a pizza, you give him the pizza, turns around, throws change at me, and goes, "That's all," and closes the door. And I count it. I go, he shorted me 50 cents. If you don't tip me, I'm not paying 50 cents for you. Sorry, I drove here with my gas. By the way, delivery charge doesn't go to the driver at all. That's so they can pay for the insurance because they keep hiring drunks to drive at night.
Oh,
you want to hear something? Sorry.
Yeah, but the thing is I knock on the door. Eventually, his wife comes out. She's just like, "I'm really sorry. I'm sorry." But go ahead. I got a couple more to get through. But what were you gonna say, Stefan?
No, I was gonna say my buddy who I play on PS4 with, and on PC now. He worked for, I believe it was Pizza Hut, and I don't remember all of the story, but I know that he went to deliver the pizza. The guy was, I don't remember if he was naked or had underwear on, but it was both is horrible. And because it was somewhat dim in the room when he went to deliver the pizza, he didn't see the guy had a gun. No bullshit.
Yeah,
Motherfucker
yeah.
had a gun, and he told him, "Put the pizza on the table, and I want you to get on your knees and start taking your clothes off." So as the guy went to turn around to get a slice of pizza, he booked it out the door as fast as he could.
Oh,
Oh my
I
gosh. Did they
know
call
my
the
God.
police?
jeez.
And that was in
That's horrible. Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah, we had a 70-year-old driver that was actually he was actually held at gunpoint for the money in his pocket. So luckily he was the guy that would hide his cash somewhere else. Yeah.
You want to check there, fella?
Okay.
No, inside the car. But a couple
okay.
more I just got to get through. I just got a couple more to get through. So I was a boom operator for a while.
Okay, nice.
You know, because I don't have the talent to be an extra. So I was doing boom operating once, and you know what blocking is? Blocking is when you max out the scene. So we're doing this club scene, right? So I have to get in there for the sound because they want sound from the middle of the dance floor. So I'm watching as the AD is having this girl. She's, oh, you got to go in. You're at the edge of frame. So I stay behind her, right? And I'm there the whole blocking. So we go. So he goes, okay, action. We start. Suddenly the DP goes, stop, cut, boom. Not my name. Boom. You're in the shot. And I go, well, you should have opened your fucking stupid eyes during blocking, bitch. And it was awkward for about 2 hours. But I got stopped because who else are they going to get for $25 a day?
Oh my God.
Oh, it was horrible. And by the way, that's what it's like when you start in the entertainment industry. How bad do you want it, huh? And it's like, so I'm glad we're catching the Weinsteins now. Yeah.
Ugly walking human meatball.
Yeah.
With arms
And then
legs.
I got just one last one. So being a recording engineer sounds like a dream job. Every 1 out of 10 bands you work with is great. The other ones are the guys that the guy played with a limp wrist the whole time and then goes, why can't you make me sound like Metallica? Because you don't play like Metallica, bitch. Like, you just don't. A drummer, hey man, can't you just trigger that? And I go, first of all, to trigger your drums, you have to be above the noise threshold so I can actually see them. Next time, hit them instead of pretending to hit them while I record you.
Yeah, like they want you to hit the pro button. Oh, I'm sorry, guys, I messed up. Here, let me hit the pro button.
Even better than that. Oh, dude. So the last one I'm going to tell, I know we got some other one, but last one I'm going to tell. This group called, and their working name was MX Lightsticks. Horrible. That was just a working name. This guy that reminds me this day of Tommy Wiseau, before I knew about Tommy Wiseau, comes in with this. She's a pretty girl. And so another engineer has done the music portion. I'm coming in because he's not feeling well to finish his shift. So he goes, okay, now it's time. And now it's time to, go in there, you do your vocals, okay? She gets in there, and I swear they played the song at the end of South Park once where she's just like, she comes out, and we're listening, and he just goes, oh, he will just do the recording magic, make you sound beautiful, darling. You look good. That's all that matters. And it's like, no, I'm not good enough. You came to a $25 an hour studio, and you think I'm going to turn shit into gold? Like, no. And so what I did is I tried to mix it. They complained. My boss came in. He went to go mix it, and he goes, you're kidding, right? And they're like, what? And he goes, you should probably just go, and I'll give you back the rest of your money. He's like, I can't even fix this. I'm the boss. I can't even fix any of this. And I swear they played it at the end of South Park once. Like somehow South Park got a copy of that. But yes.
Wow.
Stacey, you were going to say one more thing?
Oh yeah, Ronnie actually mentioned that he was a GM for a hotel. Okay. I love the company that I worked for. The only bad experience is the only bad company I worked for was the one that I'm dealing with right now. But I worked for a hotel too, and it was the craziest thing. I've never had so many one-time experiences in my life. So I was renting a house next to my job. By the way, I started working with them when I was 17. They're like, hey, just say you're 18 so you can start working here. I'm like, okay, cool. And so I had maybe like a 5-minute drive from my house to the resort. And it was snowing. This was in Virginia. This was Williamsburg, Virginia. Snowing so bad, like snow was up to your waist. And I was like, hey, I can't come in because I'm literally snowed in. And my boss was like, I'm coming. Don't worry. I'm coming right now to pick you up. And So he drove to my house to go get me because everyone else had called out, only because I was 5 minutes away. I was like, you owe me for this. Well, then a hurricane happened, and then I had to work the hurricane. And let me tell you, you can get really wet as soon as you step outside during a hurricane, and trees can go flying everywhere.
Everywhere. Wow.
But hey, you know, if the job is okay. I was young and naive. I was stupid. But I think the best experiences were the lost and found stuff. You know, when the people would leave stuff and then they'd still call in even without any shame. Like I remember the lost and found lady's like, I just got a call for a lady because she wanted all her vibrators back.
Ooh.
How do you call and be like, hey, can I have those back? And then she wanted them mailed priority too. Like it was urgent. She needed her stuff.
She's like, ASAP.
I remember a guy once left, like, I think he left like $50,000 in one of the hotel safes, and the technician had found it and nobody had called in for it. But of course, policy means you got to turn it in.
We do have to bring in our guest, but
yes.
There is a comment from Brittany, and I don't know if should I tell the story just real quick in 1 minute, real quick before we bring in our guest.
But did he turn? I want to know. Did he turn the money in, Stacy? Did he?
Nobody collected it, and the technician got nothing. But it did go to the police.
You know, they spent it. Civil forfeiture. Yeah, we found that at a drug lord's house. We're buying an espresso machine. Yes.
That sucks.
So, what were we going to say, Dan, really quick?
No. Actually, well, I don't want to take any more time away from her.
No, yeah. So we're
sorry, Brittany. I will tell that one later at some point.
So we have our special guest tonight is Sally Mullins. Yeah. We're gonna play you something really fast before we bring her on. So enjoy.
Not all people who do porn were molested. Some of us are just from Florida.
Sally shows you how it's alright.
I've been fucked by so many hipsters, I'm gentrified.
Welcome, Sally Mullins, everybody. Yeah. How you doing, Sally?
Good. I like how short that trailer is.
I watched your special right now that I was doing my makeup because it was on my watch list because I remember when you had sent out the memo that you were going to be filming it, and I wanted to go and I had class and I was pissed that I missed it, and I'm like, I was pissed at myself again because I actually missed it. I'm like, this is so good. I'm so mad I didn't see it in person.
Oh, cool. Thanks for watching it, you know? I just watched it myself, actually, like really recently. I watched it to edit it, but that's kind of different, you know? So I watched it myself just as a viewer like 2 weeks ago for the first time. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
You did great.
It was fun. Yeah, I did it twice. I did it once on December 10th, and then I did it a second time on January 25th. And January 25th was much better. 6 weeks of rehearsal between, because we had a few technical issues with the first one, and I wasn't happy with my performance, so I wanted to redo it. And I worked really hard in that time to get it like way more, like autopilot almost. But
well, and maybe it took that long for the weed dress to show up from Amazon, right? Or
I have so many. I have like 9 of those weed dresses, and it's a matter of like which one. I mean, I barely smoke pot, but I just love those dresses. I mean, I can show you. I've got like 8 or 9 of them. They're so cute. And I finally went with the most traditional, like the Rasta one, and it was a really good look for that special, yeah.
That's awesome.
It went well with the background.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Red and yellow, yeah.
I
So
like that.
one of the
Barely-
things I know a lot of people are going to ask, and it's definitely a curiosity that I had for a while, is what got you into stand-up comedy?
Well, I moved to LA. I have a strong theater background, have a degree in theater. I've done a lot of theater and like bad horror movies. I grew up in Florida, did a lot of theater in Florida. And I got out here, I was about 27 in LA, and I was teaching and I was missing performing, but I wasn't established as an actor in LA. And I didn't really want to do theater and go to a bunch of rehearsals. I wanted to like write and isolate and then perform sometimes. And I saw an ad in the back of the LA Weekly, which was a free an audit for Greg Dean, and he was in Santa Monica. And I went, and he let me get up in front. I was the only woman in the audit, and it was like 25 guys and me, and I got them to laugh.
Wow.
And it felt so good, you know?
Wow.
But I just saw it in the back of the LA Weekly, and I was like, well, I'm funny. I crack all my friends up. I can barely be serious as an actress. It's like hurt my acting career sometimes. Like, why don't I'd probably be good at this, but I did not grow up watching stand up or going to stand up or thinking I was not a fangirl. I was just like, oh, I could do this, and it might fill some of my needs to write.
That's awesome. Sally, as an expert, do I look like Florida Man?
Well, you could be in a Florida Man pageant.
Okay.
I'm not saying you'd win, but you could definitely be, in a pageant. Mm-hmm.
That may be a compliment or may not. I don't know what to take from that.
Well, when I grew up in Florida, I mean, I'm class of '86 in high school. Like, it was just the place everyone wanted to be. Everyone wanted to be. Beautiful beaches. I mean, it wasn't like people didn't make fun of it then. Although we had crack, and I tried it. But it wasn't like this thing every day where people were just laughing at it and what happened today. I mean, we were just living life, Pretty fun.
So when did you leave Florida again?
I was in my late 20s, and I started stand up when I was almost 30, and I liked it right away. Like, I never took any time off from stand up. I got right into it at the beginner level, open micing, taking classes. And I got 3 or 4 days into it, like within the first year.
Nice.
It was a good fit. Like, I married it,
Yeah. And then what did your parents and friends think about you going into stand-up comedy?
My parents have really never seen my stand-up, but they think it's good that I'm so into it. They were used to me being an actor, so nobody seemed that surprised. They were like, oh yeah, I could see you doing that, Yeah, it didn't really surprise anyone. I mean, this is a nice way of saying nobody cared.
I know. I remember actually in the beginning of Sleazy Does It, you mentioned that your parents have never seen your stand-up. Yeah. So
Not that I know of. When they last visited me out here, I had just started stand-up, and I was like a year in, and I had done a show. I was a year in at the most, and I had done a show, and I had bombed, and I was in a bad mood, and they came and visited me over like a period of time. The holidays, there weren't any shows. No, that was the last time they were out here. And when I go home and visit my parents in Florida, like, they don't really want me going out, They don't want get a call from the cop or something. They just keep me home.
yeah, you can stay in here. We're a stand your ground state now. Stay here.
Do you have any crazy tour stories or anything like maybe it might have happened on the road that you can talk about, of course?
Yeah, I have not been on the road that much for a comic my age. being that I'm 21 years in the game, because pretty early on, about 5 years in, I got the gig of hosting at the Comedy Store. So I was hosting at the Comedy Store every Wednesday and every Friday. So like, why the fuck would you go on the road, you know? Because the money, like the money for a comic of my level isn't that great. And I mean, my level's a little better now, but you can imagine it then when I was about 5 years in. Although let me just tell you guys, money on the road has not gone up, and gas has gone up, and food prices have gone up, and I'm doing more time on the road now, and I'm getting paid the same as I was like pretty much when I first started out.
Wow.
That sucks, but it's true.
I mean, definitely good at hosting. I remember one of the first times I watched Stefan on an open mic Zoom recently. You were the host, and I will never get the phrase "Daddy's got dick jokes" out of my head after he left. That was just hilarious.
Well, I like to I got my hosting gigs at the Comedy Store because I move it along. So instead of going into bits about myself, I tend to just try and get a zinger off them, you know. And
nice.
Like, I want the laugh, don't get me wrong, I want the laugh. Or sometimes you're there to pull it down a little bit. Sometimes if somebody just killed, you're there to, like, you know, flatten the curve. Mom's here to flatten, and then get the next person up. Because I mean, I used to host like 3-hour shows in the main room at the Comedy Store, 300 people. I mean, these were like epic, like 25 comics or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And I had a drinking problem. I mean, it was just a long night, you know?
Yeah.
I can't relate to any of that.
I had a CBD gummy bear. I mean, you know, I don't know if that counts, but I mean, you know.
No.
I'm gonna raise no quitters.
Sally, I have a question for you. And just I love your work, and you did a great hosting workshop during the Laugh Riot Girl Festival, and you also it was and then you were our MC for Laugh Riot Girl, and then you recently MC'd at Friday Funnies. Do you find yourself, even though I know hosting became your thing and now you're back on the road more, do you write every day?
Yeah, I don't sit down and formally write every day. To me, I call that compiling, but I think of material all the time. I text material to myself all the time, and at least twice a week, sometimes more, and a lot. I've written like 45 new minutes in quarantine.
Wow.
Like every few days, you've got to compile, you know, be it on your computer or whatever. You've just got to go through your notes. Oh, I've been writing on this thing. Oh, you know, what's in my phone?
Right.
And the things that come to me the most are when I'm running. Like, I run 3 miles a couple of times a week, and I get a lot of ideas then. I got a lot of ideas on drives. I get a lot in the shower. Those are my 3 top places.
We were talking about the shower earlier. I think we all like Stefan said, we need like an easel. And that's I'm in the space of learning to compile, because I realize that there are jokes everywhere. And like, I open a notebook, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about this bit. And so do you find that, like, even in writing every day and in doing hosting and at 20, you know, a long time in the game, do you ever do open mics yourself? Like, are you like just completely like, no way?
No, I do open mics all the time. I mean, I think that by not quitting mics, that's why I've stayed in the game. I do think to stay in the game as long as I have and not have had huge success, you really have to love the writing. Like, I have to write. I have to get these jokes out. And to me, comedy is just the quickest way to get it out. Because if you put it in a skit, you can't just be like blabbing jokes the whole time, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah, comedy, you can actually be a self-absorbed asshole, and just as long as you're making people laugh. But yeah, I was running a mic at the Pig and Whistle like for almost 5 years, and it just ended a couple of years ago. So that. And when I ran that mic, like, so many people really appreciate it and found their voice at that mic developed. And some of the club bookers were like, you're getting so much better. And all I could say is that it was running a mic, you know, and doing like 7 to 10 minutes at the top every week and writing new stuff at that mic every week, because you can't go into a mic with your Friday night comedy store set. That's going to feel stale. It's not
Right.
gonna be the same reaction. So I was like, I have no choice. I got to write about real, raw stuff from my real life. So miking is so important. Now, a lot of people with my experience level, even less experience level with me, hey, babe, they are not going to mic. No way. And I think they're missing out. But, you know, some people don't really love the writing of it. They love the performing, but they don't write that much.
Yeah. I mean, I was recently.
I'm not judging, you know, but that's not my thing.
Well, I was recently at an open mic where you opened for all of us, and then you killed, and you apologized. Maybe I shouldn't have gone on first, but however, everybody after that put their A game up more than a lot of open mics I see, because when you have someone like you come on first, everybody's like, shit, I'm going to take this seriously right now. Oh my God. And it was one of the best open mics I've been to. And I was
very inspiring.
Oh, that was good.
Very inspiring.
You know what? I just want to clear it up though, Dan. You were so sweet to say that. But when I said maybe I shouldn't have gone first, it's because I was so dirty. I was particularly dirty that night. And that's what I meant there. I was kind of like, oh, man. Because some people do say that it's hard to follow someone really dirty. And that's what that was coming from, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But you're sweet to see it another way.
You met
Thank you.
Dan. To him, dirty jokes are the holy mecca. So you're
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, he didn't see dirty.
You're like,
He didn't see the film. Yeah. He just
Yes.
had a good family values tour. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was raised in a very loving suburban home, and I rejected it.
So
I get it.
the next thing would be, do you have any advice for newly stand-up comics or people who maybe have kind of been there just about a year, like anything that you would like to share that might, you know, encourage them or help them or motivate them?
Yeah, I mean, take crappy gigs because you never know what you're going to come out of it. And, you know, time with mic in hand is good. And you've also got to, I didn't hang out enough like at the Comedy Store. I was just always gigging. I was always on stage sometime. And that's why I think I missed out on a lot of sexual harassment too, because I always had something in my mouth, you know? For anything. I had a microphone right there. I was constantly on stage and still am. So I say get the stage time, but also you better find a side hustle that you don't hate, because you're probably going to be doing it for a while. It takes a while to get anywhere in this. So some of my friends, they hate their job and they're just hoping something comes through in comedy, and then you're too stressed out about your comedy. So you got to find a way to keep a roof over your head that also gives you a little bit of, you know, nourishment emotionally.
I just want to shout out some folks in there. Jane Akala, who is also, I would say, and coming to you, just big shouts out. Love Sally, amazing host, fantastic comedian, of course. And we got one of our great, what do you say, regulars? Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Ronnie Schooner is in here. Brittany Shows. Just want to shout a few people out. But like Jane and a bunch of us, as you know, Sally, have, you know, been hosted by you, and we just love you.
I saw Antonio Scarpetta.
Yes.
Well.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, yes. Antonio. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Hi, Antonio.
Hey, what about
Hey,
Glow?
Antonio.
Oh, good.
What?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah, I'm not seeing Glow today, but we really like having Glow on the show when she's
Oh,
here.
yes.
Glow
Thank
wait,
you,
she-
Amber.
Glow's
Oh,
here.
she's there.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Glow.
I think now I think she could.
That's number one fan status. How dare you, Dan?
Hey! I
Get
think now her quote for "what a bastard is to me." I understand that, Glow. Sorry.
We want to thank everybody for, you know, hanging out with us. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming and hanging out, you know. And then, you know, what was it like to work with David Spade on Lights Out?
Well, that was fun, actually. David Spade is really nice, really gracious, really sweet. He and Jeffrey Ross were very complimentary of me help being part of that show. They were like, what a great dress. you've got jokes, a dress, you're like a bonus. Like they're like, we didn't expect to also get this host, that was going to run the show to our liking. Like they considered me like a bonus, and they were very loving and really appreciative. And out of that show, I got a good credit, and I got so much camera time. Like I was introducing like 6 comics, and everyone saw me in town, and it was funny. Like some people who used to like look through me when they talked to me, they started to see me more. They started to be like, I saw you on Spade, and then they were really looking at me in my eyes then, and it was weird. But of course, I just remember the way they treated me before. But for the most part, people are very nice to me, but it will definitely like awake the fakes. Like when you have a little TV spot and you're on a national TV show, even though all I was doing was saying, come into the stage, give it up, people will look at you. Some people will really respond to that and be like, you're somebody now,
Wow.
Oh, wow, I can see you now. I thought it was just my vision.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Wow. That's crazy, man. One little thing or one big thing, and then you're on everybody's radar, and it's not. Sometimes it could even be you don't want that attention.
It's the like the how'd you get that factor. How'd you get that?
Right.
How'd you get that? Like, oh hey, congratulations on your commercial. Oh, thank you. How'd you get that?
Jealousy.
I want your agent. I want to know the avenue you took to get.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Draw me a map.
You ever just make up a really weird story to tell them? Well, I had to go on the new version of Double Dare, and I picked the nose and pulled the flag out, and then I ran across the balance beam, and I fell into the pudding, and now I got the job.
Totally. Yeah, I know. I wish I could have come up with stuff like that. I was more just like, well, they kind of descended on our show. Like their show sort of took over our show, but they were all really nice, and everyone working for him was really nice too.
You ever give the bitchy answer of like, well, you see, it's because I'm actually talented?
It's like, why don't you ask him that? He picked me.
Right.
That's not true. They were kind of like, we didn't know we would get something we liked as part of the deal. So thank you they were very nice. So nice. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's you got the gig with Spade because of your time with the Comedy Store, right? Because
it was their thing was they were taking these people who had never done comedy before, but were maybe celebrities, or like the guy who shot Bin Laden, SEAL Team 6 guy, and then there was Chuck Liddell, who's a wrestler, and they were taking them and they were feeding them jokes through an earpiece. So
hilarious.
They crashed our show. So it's still our show. So at some point I'd be like, hey guys, like, I'm not making this up. We got the guy who shot Bin Laden. It's not just some Craigslist hookup. This is the actual guy. And then he would come on stage and they would say it through an earpiece. And Jeffrey Ross and Whitney Cummings and David Spade are back there feeding them hilarious jokes. It was really fun. Yeah. And they had like some Real Housewives, and they had like some like a model. I can't remember her name, but she does like a Wendy's commercial or something. And they had like a dumb blog. They wrote for the person. And some of the jokes they wrote were outrageous and inappropriate, and it was pretty funny. It was great. I mean, those were good shows, but his show isn't on anymore. It's like he's still very. I mean, he's working constantly, but that show had a couple of seasons. But oh well, it was cool. He's lovely.
Right.
Yeah.
You're talking about feeding jokes through an earpiece, and all I can think about is that scene from Fletch Lives in the in the giant church, where if you haven't seen it, anyways, there's
you could tell. I'm like,
but basically, everybody go back and watch Fletch Lives. It's a classic, kind of.
Kind of ish, classic-ish.
Yeah. Not one of Chevy Chase's best, but pretty good.
We also want to let everybody know you want to get on Amazon Prime tonight, and you want to go check out Sally's comedy special, Sleazy Does It. So what was it like to make Sleazy Does It? the
Well,
experience, anything.
that was fun. I made Sleazy Does It for about $300. I think I put $5,000 budget on IMDb just to like be realistic and, you know, just to like not look like too sleazy. Although I should go back and change it. But basically, my really good friend David Connolly, he runs Theater of Arts. I should find out exactly how to say it, but he's a really amazing dude. He just sold a script himself and very talented in a comic. Yeah. So he let me do it there because I also teach some classes for him sometimes. So I'm like adjunct faculty. So I was able to use the theater free of charge. It's 100-seater. I put the tickets up on Eventbrite. The 3 guys who filmed it, they're all my buddies. We scratch each other's backs. All I had to do was buy some white wine. And I'm sorry, I bought like Trader Joe's $2 chuck, you know, but I bought a lot of it. So much. And everybody could drink cougar juice, you know, is the cougar juice.
That sounds like an interesting energy drink.
It's like a 50-minute show, and then actually I'm getting it. It's up on IMDb now, and I'm adding the credits because a lot of people came and saw me, and then I had them interviewed, and I did that just to get my friends' credits on IMDb. You know, what do you think of the show? Oh, Sally's a crazy hoe, you know, whatever. Credit as yourself, you know. So that was cool. Now I'm in the process of getting everyone's names up on IMDb, which is a pain.
Will you admit you did my show?
Yeah, you guys were talking about your horrible jobs, and I could hear that, and it was really stressful. But working with IMDb and putting stuff up on there, you don't want to have to do that either.
I won't make my new Marvel movie then.
Yeah, just get somebody to do it, like maybe off Fiverr, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sally, though, you have brought in so much, like you've brought so much useful information to people that are either starting stand-up or contemplating starting stand-up. I mean, everything from doing mics repeatedly in order to obtain material, in order to keep it fresh so you don't get desensitized by your own material, and having friends in the industry to help you, like scratch your back. Like, she said, are you still teaching classes? Like, you need to.
No, I did used to be a pretty, I was a really appreciated theater teacher in Florida, and I used to teach children's theater, and I used to teach adults too, teens and up, you know, like little kids, no thanks, but I did a lot of teaching, and then I just leave the comedy teaching. My best friend is Bobby Oliver. She's a terrific teacher. You know, I'm like, she's got that. But I do like doing seminars for her. And David Connolly, who I mentioned, he teaches. Greg Dean. I mean, there's a lot of good comedy teachers in town. I like doing the occasional. I like doing things like this where I talk about it, though. It's pretty fun. And I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with studying comedy. Like, people go, if you're funny, you're funny. No. I worked on Sleazy Does It with Bobby. She helped me with my timing. She helped me with my tags. So, you're never too advanced to not at least go back to a writing coach, let alone take a class.
Wow.
That's awesome.
You know?
I got a quick question before we move on. Like, do you feel like there are more women in stand-up now and greater opportunities than when you started? Like,
definitely I do.
What do you think that could be attributed to?
Well, good question about that. I think that we've been encouraged by other women might be part of it, and we have role models of women in politics as well as entertainment. But I will just say this, on my YouTube feed for the past couple of weeks, there have been a lot of hilarious younger women, I'd say age range 25 to 35, probably 35 tops, mainly like 30 years old. And they're on Comedy Central and they're doing extended sets and they're very funny, but that is the only demographic I'm seeing right now on Comedy Central. I mean, it's like, I think that they're kind of seeing like, okay, millennials for millennials, but it seems that the men who, Tammy Pescatelli, I think it was, or was it Chelsea Peretti? I don't know, everyone gets those two mixed up, but they were tweeting about it today, and it seems that the men right now who have a lot of heat on them in comedy are like 40 and up. But the women who are being like pushed out front and center right now are way younger. And so I have to think it has to be men doing the casting.
Got it.
Yeah.
You know,
So I guess I did come into comedy at the right time at 41. Awesome.
you know, you're fine.
Right.
But, you know, as what we have to do as women is we just have to produce more ourselves.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we have to create more shows, because middle-aged white guys are not going to create shows to feature middle-aged white women or women of color or anything. They're going to find young women, and then they're going to find dudes their age to populate them. You know, that's like, people produce what they want, but also, and I'm not going off on white men. I love white men. I have sex with them all the time, you know. But you also have to look at other industries and trends in other industries as well. And a lot of young people, a lot of millennials and Gen Z, they love their older role models. And look at some of the comics of the past, like look at Louis Black. Louis Black's biggest fans were colleges. They think of him as like this crazy uncle or something. Like, don't just keep saying millennials are watching comedy. Let's give them their peers. Give them variety too.
Yes.
It does make me wonder, though. I mean, is the male comic more receptible when you're less worried that he's going to try to hit on you? So that's why the older males are a little bit more, you know.
Oh, you mean like less intimidating kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, or maybe it's because we're not as good looking as the guys that are getting in trouble right now.
Not all the guys who are getting in trouble
are very good looking. I agree. Yeah,
there's some people that got beaten with the ugly stick, you know.
Oh, I must have a weird perception then. I'm not. We're not going to expand on that.
Great, you're great.
But thank you for that insight, Sally, because it's because I'm watching a lot of Comedy Central, and you're right. I'm actually even seeing more comedians of color, but there's like this bracketed age group that I'm seeing as well, you know. And I'm sensitive to it because you said you're class of 86. I'm class of 85. So
Oh God, you look so freaking young. You look amazing. Maybe they are giving me all the white women because I'm white. Like maybe that's the algorithm, you know?
Okay.
I'm not seeing people of color, but I am definitely seeing that age group. It's like 28 to 35. It's like the millennial demographic, but millennials like all kinds of stuff. I mean, a lot of hipsters, you know, I mean, they like way older. So I do think, just like look at any Hollywood rom-com, the dude is like 50 and the woman is about 30 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
And they never address that. They never address that. This is just a happy, functional married couple, you know?
Well, that's because that's the male side of the fantasy.
Yeah.
But that's the point. Like, why is it never addressed? As Good as It Gets is still one of my favorite, but I never did understand Jack Nicholson, Helen Hunt, and Helen Hunt. Thank you. She got the Oscar for that. But I'm just like, who matched that? Like, what?
Yeah. How did that never get explained? And Dan, I think that that's true. It's the male side of the fantasy, but I think that the male producers and directors are picking a lot of younger women to do comedy. But you know what? They're funny, and we all need our chances. But I think that as older women, we have got to write some stuff for ourselves and produce some stuff ourselves.
Yeah.
Sally, you're right though, and I've noticed it, and I've come across a lot of all these young, beautiful females are like are influencers, or they're like Vine stars or TikTok stars that they're getting their feet wet with comedy.
Oh,
But the
yes.
reality is it's not that funny, but they're gorgeous and they're appealing, so they have a bigger fan base. So it's like you're seeing these women get ahead because they're very pretty. They're not there to be funny in reality. They're there in order to bring in all these men that usually, I see it completely.
And some of them, Stacy, are purposely filming themselves getting their feet wet. Yes.
Ha 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 ha.
So,
Yeah.
You know?
This is true. This is true.
I just think that now more than ever, it's like some people still have the old Hollywood concept of I'm going to get discovered while I'm working in the greeting card store or something. And we have to write for our age group, write for our experience, write from our experiences and get that stuff out there, because it's not gonna, you can't leave it to others.
Right.
I think that's the joke that I've heard the most with new young female comedians, that they're like, yeah, so one day I hope that I walk into a Starbucks and Steven Spielberg will be there and they will discover me and I will get famous. Like literally, I think I've heard that joke by multiple women in the past 3 years, like over 100 times.
Wow.
It's not happening that way anymore. And I like it. I like that you can create your own content like what you guys are doing, and you know, write stuff for yourself. I mean, that to me is what stand-up's all about. It's your story. It's personal. When you're doing it right, it's coming from your unique point of view.
definitely.
That's why it's important to write. You know, I mean, a lot of comics, when they start out, it's almost like they're doing their impersonation of a comic. You know, like
Right.
you're seeing, like you feel that lack of originality, or they're like, huh, what's trending? What do people want to hear about? It can't be that. It's got to be what you want to talk about.
Hi, everybody. Do you want to hear my Mile High Club joke? I've got a great one.
But I will say this, Sally, like I think when anybody is new, then any of us on a psychological level are a sum total of whatever we've seen, witnessed, or heard. So I think with comics, I feel it myself, like there's an on-ramp. And you don't want to copy anybody because you're not that person. And I think in an honest place, you're not that person. But I have like sounded myself out, and I'm just like, you sound like so and so. But it wasn't that I didn't set out to see like I want to copy this person, but it's just that we're sum total of whatever we take in.
I respect that. Like I said, I didn't grow up watching or liking stand-up at all, so I had no idea. But I totally know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, if you copy someone, Joe Rogan's just gonna punk you on stage one day. So.
Right. But it's just like it's an on ramp. It's just I think it's an on ramp.
Yeah,
like for
I
anybody.
do too. Yeah.
But reality, Sally, that you expressing your truth, the way that you go on every day is hilarious. That's why I loved your special. You were just so honest and open, and I don't know. I have to give it up to you because you are honestly one of the comics that I really love watching.
Oh, thanks.
You're like, I don't care. This is who I am, and that's what makes it so great. I hate people that bring in this persona on stage and just bring in topical humor just because it seems relevant. You're like, this is me, and that in itself, your situations, the situations you put yourself in, or the things that you do. I love it. I love it.
I think.
Well, I'm throwing away my COVID jokes now.
COVID jokes are great.
Hey man, they're not expired yet.
It's not about subject matter to me. It's about how you see it.
Right.
You can talk about what people think is hack, traffic, airline food, whatever, online dating. People go, oh, that's hack, but not if it's your own personal experience and point of view.
Exactly. I'm saying in all the comedy classes, the one thing I'm learning across the board is you have to have a point of view, and you spend your time like learning who you are, really learning your point of view, and then honing in on your own voice. But as long as you have a point of view, that's what makes the COVID joke still something engaging and interesting.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's your point of view about COVID. Yeah. Or, it's really interesting, and you can't expect to develop it within 1 or 2 years. It takes like several years at least.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be funny. You can be funny before you really find your voice. You can be killing it. You can be getting laughs, Lynn, never annoying. I'm so annoying around the house, please. Real asshole in real life. But, glow.
Yes.
Virtual love. There's got to be a service for that comes with a vacuum.
Yeah.
So
Glow has a great comment. She said, "Life is a stage, and comedy the main character. Tragedy its writer." Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
a lot
your
of
truth,
comes from
your
that.
truth is best. I think most of my jokes that have done really well are just everything that I've gone through that it comes to the point where the stage is therapeutic because you're like, this is who I am. I like myself. You don't like me, it's all good. But then you have all these people laughing and they love it. And you're like, yes, thank you.
That's what it's all about. It's all about going out there and making people understand your point of view and love you for it.
Yeah, one of the instructors I watched, he actually helped this nice lady. He wanted to help her brush up or give her some guidance and go through her material. And after he watched her tape, he's like, why do you need me? You're already really good. He couldn't understand then why she needed help. But the thing that really fascinated me is he asked her, so what did you do to get this good, and how long have you been doing it? And then, her answer was just really like, wow, that's, almost like Chappelle's answer, actually. Very similar. But, she said she does, 14 open mics a week. And she did that for 2 years straight.
getting in your hours quick. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, how else would you do it if you're not grinding it? I don't know how else you know.
Yeah,
you can fast track. You can fast track. If you're going to do that many a week, you can accomplish stuff faster.
But isn't it crazy that we can be good, but we ourselves are perfectionists and we still doubt ourselves and we're like, is it good enough though? And I that's why I'm thankful for classes, and that's why I still take classes repeatedly, comedy and all sorts, because it's like, okay, I'm good, but I always feel I can be better. And you mentioned it that are you still actively taking classes, or right now you're just like every now and then?
I do mics. I mean, I've done a bunch of mics and shows with Dat Fan. He's another one in class, and he's teaching. No, you should always be trying to get better. Comedy is the only thing in my life that's never bored me, and I'm always learning from it all the fucking time. So
that's cool.
That's never going to change. Yeah. No, you should never be completely happy with where you're at, but give yourself a break, give yourself a pat on the back. This is a tough. So a lot of people would never do this. I know that I don't feel brave because I feel like it's fun. But, no, you're always growing and you're always learning. It's okay to be hard on yourself, but you know what? You do have to just get up and do it again the next night, because that'll get that feeling out. Just get back on the horse as soon as you can,
Yeah, I mean, the only time I'm scared public speaking is if I need to really find a job and there's a job interview. That's the only time.
I love those. I can do those all the time, and I don't want a job, but I'm like, I'll do it.
So that's when it's good, is when you don't need the job because you can screw with them during the interview. It's really awesome. You just ask them silly questions like, does the break room have a ping pong table? Oh, that's a bummer, man. That's going to take some points off.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, that's the weirdest thing about, myself is I'll get butterflies before I go on stage or when I'm going to have a big audience or anything like that. But if it's direct one-on-one contact with a person I just met, that's where I'm like freaking out. I can't do direct eye contact. I can't look at you in the eyes. It's just like, that's so bad.
Comedians are introverted. I mean, a lot of us are introverted and we need the time in our own heads kind of thing. I mean, a lot of us are just like that. But you were asking about about, it wasn't about, self-doubt. Yeah, that never goes away. Nerves never go away. They just become maybe more manageable, or it's more like just excitement now. But like, I don't like going to the comedy store because until I get on stage, I'm kind of like, like everyone's, hi, what have you been up to? Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. And the last thing I want to do is small talk. So it's really like those nerves and that self-doubt, they never go away. And I know comics that are higher level than me and have been in the game 10 more years than I have, and they say the same thing. So just accept it. Like some days you're just going to feel overwhelmed, depressed. I mean, just, you have to accept it.
But, Stacey, it's funny you mention eye contact, though, because there's times where I really love eye contact. We have these really long hallways at work. And so I'm the guy that from far away is already waving at you and just staring at you the whole time I'm walking up. Because it's funny. I work with engineers, so they're like, what the hell is going on? And it's just, it's a good way to break the ice and make sure you eat lunch alone if you need to. So
I do this weird thing, though. Okay. So sometimes I'm going to force myself into eye contact, so I'll stare at something. I will stare at something forcefully just to make it look like I'm looking at you and I'm paying attention to you. And I didn't realize this, but apparently my eye likes to wander off, so I'll have one eye looking out the other direction and I'll look straight forward.
You're just multitasking. It's okay.
Okay, if anybody has kids, please make sure that you teach them how to do eye contact, because apparently this is what happens. Your eye just wanders off while you're pretending to actually focus on a person, and you come off as cross-eyed.
That
you
one
become
eye is
Gwyneth
just
Paltrow's child.
That one eye is just bored. That's all. It's just like, nah, man, I ain't having it. But we want to thank Sally for stopping in and hanging out with us and talking with us.
You guys are a really good bunch of people, and you're all funny. I'll see you at the Zoom shows. Everybody doing Zoom shows?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I got a show tomorrow, Jokes from Home with Mayor. I got a show next Friday, back with Kezia. Friday Night Funnies next Friday.
The 21st?
Yes.
I'm hosting that one. Cool.
Awesome.
Yes. So make sure to go watch Sleazy Does It on Amazon Prime.
Thank
you. Make sure you let her know how much you love it.
Yeah, I couldn't even put my eyeliner on. I was like laughing in between, and I had to ensure that it did not end up up here. I had to pause her video. It was funny, okay? So watch it.
You don't need makeup.
Everybody's sending you love too, Sally. Just Lynn's son. Everybody's
thank you guys.
Hello.
Oh, and one other thing, Sally, your Southern California Edison bit was just beautiful. I love that bit so much.
Oh, wait, the Department of Water and Power?
Yeah, sorry, I got it wrong, but what you do here, it's so awesome what you did.
No, that's cool. I'll be at Bobby's Mic on Sunday, I think. I think I'll be back there again, Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
So let's give an applause for Sally. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys are so nice. Sorry if I get kind of intense. Comedy's like the love of my life. That's why I'm Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. Well, Sally had to go. She has some previous engagements because she's very busy, as she should be, because she's just hilarious and awesome. And that was a good interview.
Let's do some call outs really quick, real fast for some of the people here. Let's see here. We have Lynn's son.
Woo!
I love you, Sally. Yes, that's beautiful. And then we have Glow over here with Sally Love, Love, Love. And then what else? We have Antonio. Thank you, Sally. You are so engaging.
Please keep doing this because I don't exercise, so this is the first thing I do.
we have Glow here with Hug, and then we have
COVID aerobics.
Oh yeah, that's right. We gotta get rid of those muffin tops. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
right.
COVID muffins. And then we have the sleazy always does it.
That's what my Tinder dates say.
That's right. And then Jane here with all the kisses and the hearts. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. But we're not ending the show, so please don't go away.
Yes, don't go away.
We're still gonna do
Stay
stuff.
here. Stay here.
All right, so we're
It'll
gonna
be funny.
We're gonna start Idiot of the Week, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah,
Let me
we
throw
might go a
that
little
up.
over tonight, but hey,
That's fine.
it's a podcast. It's not like we got the network on our ass saying you got to finish now. You got to finish now. So let's just talk about this moron. The article from The Root is Jesus was white. Did he have white privilege? Evangelical author roasted for spreading gospel of Mayo Messiah. Okay, I'm a white guy and I love that. I love Mayo. You compare me to Mayo, especially
Mayo.
after too much lactose. You can compare me to Mayo. So I know that's gross.
Hold on. Just to clarify, mayo is made out of huevos and some white stuff. So
that's how I get my extra huevos. Awesome. Yeah. And why does it stay good for so long for something that shouldn't? It's just
that's
odd.
what my ex-boyfriend said.
Okay, so yeah,
Coming in hot.
So I'm going to read a little bit of this. Because we got the best part about this article actually is the comebacks to what this guy said. So Eric Matexas is a Trump-loving Christian radio host who also authored the Donald the Caveman series, a collection of MAGA-themed children's books that includes Donald Drains the Swamp, Donald and the Fake News, and Donald Builds the Wall. I read those titles wrong. Donald Drains the Swamp, Donald and the Fake News, and Donald Builds the Wall. Okay, so that's how you should really say those titles. Apparently, the only thing Metaxas hates more than Mexicans, Black Lives Matter, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is equality. The villain of one of his books is an angry little girl who looks a little bit like AOC. Wow. Ooh. Anyway, now he stirred the controversy. Let's just get back to it. Metaxas has subsequently attempted to place claim about Jesus' ethnicity in the context. But basically he said, Jesus was white. Did he have white privilege? Okay. There's also a picture of Jesus riding dinosaurs. These are artistic representations, if you didn't know and you're tuning into our show. Jesus was Middle Eastern. It's very important to remember that.
Oh yeah, the features.
So,
you have to understand the features.
now there are admittedly no physical descriptions of Jesus in the Gospels, and that's interesting because we all assume he had a beard, but then again, you're not supposed to cut the beard, you're not supposed to cut the hair. So it's interesting. You know that didn't take on to the next books, but because then everyone would look metal. But yeah, what the hell's this guy thinking? Like, you don't have to think that hard to know Jesus was not a white guy.
But overwhelmingly,
oops, sorry, you cut out for a minute there, Dana.
Oh, sorry. Wait, am I back?
You're back.
Okay. Overwhelmingly, though, like people have been, especially a certain generation, have been looking at pictures of Kenny Loggins' twin brother, because that's to me what all those pictures have ever looked like. Kenny Loggins. Anybody know who the singer Kenny Loggins is? Let me just first ask that.
Yes,
that's the guy with the facelift, the one that had all that facelift done, and he looked like a completely different person.
No, I don't think so. No, that's Kevin Bacon. Kenny Loggins is a music artist. You're talking about Kevin Bacon on Footloose. But Kenny Loggins did the song. So are you referring to the guy who did the song or the guy who started?
Yeah, the guy who did the song. No,
my bad. Okay, I didn't. Like, he doesn't look that different to me. I don't know. So anyway, that's to me like anytime I've seen those pictures, because like I grew up like in the 70s where you would see these like people would have like street art and like like all these and they would all be the same whatever. And like if you are like anybody on here from the South or spent time in like a Black grandmother's house, they all have these painted plates, and one plate is going to have Martin Luther King, one plate is going to have Jesus, and one plate is going to have John Kennedy. And like they're all there are all these so there's always been I think it's tragic that people assume Jesus was white, because then that just says that you haven't studied a map, because a map would tell you that there'd be no way. But we are, with all due respect to America, not this guy, this is not necessarily a country that's big on what geography even means or what the implications. Do you know what I'm saying? Like no one, like no one know, like you talk to the average person. I had a student, I will say nothing except when I tried to I had to explain to my student that China nor Africa were in the States, and I had to explain to my student, I had to, like I brought a globe because I realized, and this is just me as the classroom teacher, I brought my own child's globe to school because I realized that they don't teach what's on a globe. They don't teach what's on a world map. And other than maybe in the world history section, that this war was fought in this place, Istanbul, which isn't that name anymore. There is no present context for understanding who was in any of these places or what those people look like. So I'm in no way justifying, but I have to say I honestly get it. It's just the representation that's been out there. And if you don't scratch beneath the surface, then you're going to argue this paper thin foolishness that, you know, bless his Southern MAGA heart, that he's, spewing. Or I don't know if he's Southern, but
it's kind of funny MAGA. Because they wear red hats, but it's a black heart.
Right, but it's a black heart.
Like really meant in no bad way. But Stacey, well, I do have a question for you, Stacey, but go ahead and say it.
Oh no, I don't know. It's so offensive. No, I'm holding back.
Okay, it's all bad shit. Okay, Stacey, I got a question for you. Being the youngest in our group of 4, what I am going to ask you: were they still teaching Eurocentric history in high school when you went? Did they refer to the Dark Ages as when no history was being written, instead of mentioning that China was doing great and that the Middle East was doing great then?
I went to 4 high schools, and I graduated at 16. Let me remember.
Oh, damn.
Oh, one for every year.
No, I graduated at 16. I went to 4 high schools.
Because that's something I remember. And when thinking about it.
You know what? If I remember correctly, like I remember the pregnant teen moms. No.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't count though, because I ended up finishing early, and it was like the skipped version, so I'm the worst person to ask.
Okay, because I mean, they didn't tell us anything about what China's history was. They didn't tell us anything about the Middle Eastern history. They didn't tell us about India. They especially skipped when Britain took over, or did successfully take over India. They didn't talk about any of that stuff, and they always refer to the Dark Ages. No one was writing history. No, yeah, some people were. You weren't reading it.
Middle school. They actually taught me that in middle school. Well, the Dark Ages, we were taught in middle school. We were taught about the whole China thing. That I remember. I actually really enjoy history. So middle school, yes, but only 2 out of the 4 that you mentioned.
I was in college taking extra courses after I to even know anything about Africa, like to know everything that I would eventually learn, because there was nothing through middle school or high school that pointed to Africa even being the cradle of civilization, period, or that, you know, and when they taught you, when any conversation was ever had about Egypt or the pyramids, it was never that this is a country on this very large continent that we don't talk about, that is barely written about in any of these books, other than, you know, there is the point where they talk about, you know, what happened in Haiti, or they every now and then, but the Haiti is a whole nother country. So it's just interesting, like you know, when you speak to, again, to Stacey being the youngest, you know, were you taught anything that would represent that there was forward thinking or revelation or realization about the parts that we skipped, like all the countries and continents, whole continents? Like, we were taught what the continents were, but we weren't taught like who was on them and how awesome, you know, all the people were on any of these great places were.
I will give you.
I do love this retort.
I'm sorry, this
retort.
Well, what is it? Oh,
yeah, gonna tell Eric this is Jesus, Mr. Chris Hemsworth.
Hey, that's
right.
By the way, I annoyed my wife during the whole movie. Every time he got hit by something, I look at her and I go, he's gonna be so Thor.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I'm gonna mention this just because it was the weirdest thing, and I don't know if anybody had the similar situation. But definitely did not anything about Africa. I don't remember at all.
Because they
However,
didn't teach you. I promise you, they didn't teach you.
I don't recall anything like that. However, I did have a teacher that used Disney movies as our history lessons. So Mulan went into China and the Great Wall of China. That's what he used. Hercules for all Greek mythology. Can't remember other movies, but that was basically it was Disney movie here. This is what's wrong with the entire Disney movie, which I loved. There should be more classes like that. Okay.
He just ruined the Hunchback of Notre Dame. No, he was supposed to die at the end, and so was she. By the way, assholes are the reason why Quasimodo could never forget when it was Wednesday. So, sorry, it's a dad joke. I know. Getting the disapproval, and somehow that makes me laugh. But yeah, I mean, it's just funny. And if you get to go look through this, there are just some great, I guess it would surprise you. This is not, in fact, a color photograph of Jesus. There are just some comebacks to him. There are no white people in the Bible. Take all the time you need with that. Yes.
That's a good one. That's the best one. That's for me, bar none. Because I've, and you said it earlier, Dan. You said there are no literal descriptions because people will they say his hair was of lamb's wool, but again, none of that is a literal description. Those are metaphysical. Now there's some great comments that we don't want to overlook over here. It says when Hollywood makes the White Prince of Persia, what do you expect? And here's the thing, I love Jake Gyllenhaal, but we all know that he's there's no way.
He's not Persian.
He's not Persian. Ronnie Schooner, he says, I learned all about Africa on my own because I was curious about human evolution. That was when the internet was brand new and actually full of great knowledge. And let's see, literally, if kids listen to Africa by Toto, they will learn more about Africa than in schools. I agree. That's a good one. Thank you, Ben. That's a good one.
I hear it rains down there, by the way. Sometimes
but I think
it take a while.
But that was the other thing too. That's always interesting. That's and even as I say the continent, like teaching kids that you got to understand that it's a continent. It's not a country or this one place. That it's several countries. What 54 to be exact? 50. Yeah, 54.
That many?
Yes, that many because they were like 52, but then when Sudan split, it became 54. So it's 54 countries on a continent. The size of it, you could fit the landmass of the United States can fit 4 times in the continent. Wow. Like it's, and these are just things that it's, when we talk about media representation and no context, people will fill in what you don't tell them. And so if you don't tell them anything, they will assume it doesn't exist, or they will create any kind of narrative. And that's me include, any of us included. So it's just really, I think these comments are great.
Yes. Thank you guys.
I mean, it's like, I mean, you can't really take seriously what TV and film is out there because remember, they made these really religious tomato and cucumbers, VeggieTales.
Right.
Am I supposed to take your version of it really seriously? Like, to you, Jesus was a freaking cucumber. I don't know. I don't remember.
Right.
I think my aunts mostly watched it for the cucumber.
Right.
So.
Hey-o.
Get out. Get out.
Leave it in long enough. It's pickle.
I'm eating salad later, man. Come on.
Now he's going to skip the cucumbers.
No, they're already in there, damn it.
Oh, you chopped it early.
I'll just eat it with my eyes closed. It's okay.
Yeah, that way you don't feel the beard.
Get away.
Dana's just like, I'm disapproving of this shit right now.
Some of it's going like that for me, Dan. Some of it's just like, that went past. Like,
you know what I call those though, and I love them from some of my favorite comedians. I call them joke grenades. You throw them, and a minute later, the person's going, "Oh, wait a minute." So I love those. All right. Well, I guess what we're going on to, because we have a moment of silence suddenly.
Yes.
Let's talk about what are the good parts of lockdown.
I can start, or somebody else can start.
I can start.
could
So
too.
Okay.
look. I love Stacey's. The good parts of lockdown. Not spending money on gas, not spending money in the streets, like being able to like, and then like I know it sounds all touchy feely, but like whatever dreams you got like the platform, you got everything. You got a studio and your computer and your phone. Like you can. There is nothing you can't put your hands on. There's nothing you can't like broadcast out to the world. And now you actually have the time to do it, and you have time to write it out, think it out, plan it out, and then just where do you want to, whatever. Honestly, like TikTok is one of the best things about being on lockdown. There is so much amazing, like honestly, like I'm so inspired by TikTok. I'm trying to figure out what my first TikTok should be because I want to keep it going. But I just think that the best part is the pursuit of dreams, and like you don't have to, dreams can become goals, and goals can become like what you do, and and the amount of creativity. And if you have any kind of talent, like Sally said something very powerful, you guys, when she talked about make sure that when you're doing comedy, don't have a day job you hate, because then you're gonna end up putting that pressure on your comedy to get you out of this day job you hate. And I have to say that resonated with me because, teaching chess, obviously something that I did not see at the age of 7 that I would certainly do, is a joy. So even though like I sometimes, I'm back to back with, classes and stuff, I enjoy what I do. So I don't feel so like the comedy's got to pull me out. The VO has got to save me. I want those. I certainly want to take over. Don't misunderstand me. I want the comedy and the voiceover and everything else to take over. But there is no like, I hate my job. You know what I'm saying? And there's no like that doesn't exist. Somebody said grocery shopping in my underwear. Now that I have to admit.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's mine.
Do you mean on the face or under here?
I'm sure they mean I'm sure we know they mean Instacart, but to be honest to everybody, you like follow your dreams, follow your dreams, follow your dreams. This is the time.
Yeah, it is. You know what? That's crazy though. Actually, coming to think of it, because I run a business, so it was weird. I couldn't balance both. It definitely got hard at one point. Once my business started having problems, my comedy was doing really well. So how do you guys, how did you balance both? Like I was like, oh shit, I can't pick. I like both. Like, oh God.
Well, for me, okay. So if it wasn't for COVID, and I feel bad for anyone who's died or anyone knows who's got it, but my silver lining personally is I'm here. I'm here. Like if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have been up late at night at Stefan's birthday party talking to him and him going, hey man, I remember you producing and how you used to do that. You should try comedy. And I'm like, I don't know. Try comedy. I don't know. Try comedy. Okay. It's I mean, I love doing this show, and what comedy has become since that first furlough. And since I took this dive, actually it was the second furlough that he talked me into it, because it's very recently. It's become my therapy. Telling jokes. I work with engineers. You can't tell jokes all day because eventually you're just going to get fired, or they're just never going to promote you. I get to come out and it's like, I mean, for a lack of a better term, it's vocal masturbation, and it just feels great. So,
man. Self-love, baby.
Hey,
self-love.
But there's some other things. Because of the lockdown, I've spent more time with my kids. I spent more time doing comedy. I spent more time playing my guitar. We're stuck only doing 40 hours right now at work because I'm hourly and I'm in software. So you can, they can't do that. And I've had time to expand upon hobbies that are making anybody watching from work probably won't like making my real life great. And the biggest thing, and I'm going to put a plug in, I'm sorry, but one of the biggest things is because of the furloughs, I was able to work on my last album a lot more. It came out better. I just, I'm going to do my album. In fact, I'm going to share a screen. I'm going to plug it because, why not?
Yeah, go for it.
Anybody wants to go? Oh, you got to put it in there, Stefan, though.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I'm not going to play it. Maybe I should play a little. I don't know. I'm not. I didn't share the sound. But if any of you are death metal fans, I basically, to do this album, what I did is I threw away all the stuff that I ever worked with, all the software. And because of this experience, I was able to have time to use brand new software, brand new tools, brand new. And Ben saying you have a band. No, I don't. I have me and a computer. I'm sorry. But
one-man band.
But yeah, I programmed
Amazing.
the drums and I played all the stuff, did the vocals, and this is it. It is a based on comedy. You know, the song that you could play right here is "They Own You." It's based off of George Carlin, one of his best rants about how the world actually works. And if you go, it's called Hecla, and yes, it was an EP, so I called it EP Othea. Yes.
Okay.
Some people won't get that. Ethiopian. But it's got songs. Hey, 4 touchdowns. It's about Al Bundy. Damn you, Browsy. How many remember the great John Panette talking about how upset he was for people that are browsing? Up your aisle, if you've ever been offered one of those damn club cards and you're just like, let me get the fuck out of the store. I mean, Bill Burr, Roy Moore. Those comedians have talked about it. So this is all based off comedians. I'm not going to say the songs are funny. They're about their angry rants because it's metal. So anyway, I'm plugging it. I'm going to be done with it. HeclaMetal.com. It's free, completely free album, completely free. Because I wasn't going to, it's death metal. I wasn't going to make money anyway. So there you go. All right. Thanks for letting me do that, by the way, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I will say this because I haven't found like the actual positives of this whole thing yet. Like, I mean, come on, this is more like a cry for help, but gotten to know myself more, which is weird. Like, I'm like, I thought I was this type of person, but apparently I'm this type of person. Loneliness does that to you. You're like, oh my God, it's been 200 days without dick. What am I doing with my life? Like, clarity is kicking in. I heard guys go through the same thing. They're like, if you did your thingy majiggy and you're still thinking about that girl, then you really like her. It's not just sexual temptation. Like, that's what I read on Reddit. I don't know how true it is, but I don't know. Like,
Stacy, you could go buy a dick. It just won't compliment you.
ew, you nasty. Get out. I'm not kidding. Get out.
All right, hit the button. We're going to tase him.
Not while I'm drinking, fucker.
I've been taking classes. That's what I've been doing. I mean, I've taken classes while, before quarantine, but I didn't have enough time. So I would take like a class and then break, but I've been taking multiple classes and working because, let's face it, I'm not really working. But I've been taking this time to work on myself, except I wish I'd work on myself physically because I've gained 20 pounds and this blows.
I'm not walking. I need to go do that. That might be where my insomnia is coming from. So I was thinking of like downloading one of those apps called Be Your Own Gym, where you don't need equipment. You just start, because I haven't weightlifted in a long time. I mean, this is all fake. It's all synthol. But like, I know. You're like, it doesn't look like synthol. It looks like man boobs. No, man boobs is what synthol looks like. Stop injecting it, you dumb shits.
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
What's synthol?
Yeah, what is that?
I'll get a picture for you. Go ahead, though, Stacy.
Well, I was going to say, it's gotten so bad, my acting teacher asked me today through Zoom, Stacy, I think you should go do some exercise.
Ooh, that's crossing the line, man.
Ruh-roh.
Well, no. Well, look, if somebody's gaining weight within a short time span, there's obviously a problem. So, okay, I'll take it. The reality is I haven't done any exercise, so it was a good wake-up call. I did need, though.
So the page I'm sharing right now is safe, I think.
I can put it on.
This is a bunch of pictures of people that use synthol, which is like putting Stretch Armstrong's corn syrup into your arms.
Oh wow, that's
that
like
is
those. That's like the chicks that want the Kardashian butt. Almost like they put that Fix-A-Flat in their ass.
This is
that
like
was concrete, though.
Yeah, this is like a guy who pretends he has extra inches by just adding Play-Doh to the tip. So.
Oh my God! This is so disgusting. Oh
I know. This has one of the most famous guys. I forget where he's from. I think it's I don't know where it's from, but geez, this is just—it's not real. I mean, this guy looks like he does synthol and works out, which is just no. Why would you do that? You know, if you're gonna cheat. You know, it's just
I don't
messed up.
understand the extra shoulder. Like, why is there shoulder on top of the shoulder?
Yeah,
That's so awful. That looks like a birth defect or something.
I mean,
and no offense to anybody who's dealing with a birth defect, like, but it
Does
just
that oh, sorry.
That was a good caveat, Dana.
Does that? I mean, does
Very
that look?
good.
Does that look sexy to any of you ladies? I mean,
No, you know, it reminds me of Ed from 90 Day Fiance, the guy that has like no neck and just like this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so gross.
gross. I was gonna say it's actually
By the way,
that's-
the reason why we're showing these is I'm not afraid any of these guys could kick my ass. I'm not sure that they can walk out a door. So
like it's just gross. Like I'm just like, oh, like who came up with this idea and why did it get traction? Like who thought of it?
That looks fake.
yeah.
Is that Steve-O with the Steve-O's head on a synthol guy?
Right, Lauren, I agree. With you. Lauren says why. I agree. Like, just why?
I don't know. Maybe they hang out with guys that say, "You looking so buff. You looking so buff. Have you ever wanted to look like Popeye but different?"
Yeah, Glow said someone say Quasimodo.
Quasimodo, yeah.
Oh, I already did the Quasimodo joke, yeah. But thank you, Glow.
Oh, that's so nasty.
Oh, and then Torn said, "Would you check the guy for a tumor? It's not a tumor. Yeah."
See, that's exactly what Popeye had on his arms. They were not muscles; those are tumors. Okay.
Tumors. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Tumors,
not how
Maria.
muscles are supposed to look. You're not supposed to only do forearm day, but no biceps and tricep day.
There we go.
Right.
Dad bod.
Right. And then can we talk about farts? Because this synthol.
Sorry, I probably
No, put it back up. Put it back up.
Okay.
Put it
Can we
back up.
talk about a certain type of farts?
Those are called queefs.
Yes,
okay,
queefs.
that's the appropriate term. I'm just gonna let it out there. Damn it.
Yeah, there's no lactose intolerance involved in a queef.
Right. Because the synthol. Now, I agree with you, Ben. The synthol is gross, and they can't wipe their. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I had a friend who was really big and did bodybuilding, and that's one thing he complained about. He had to buy like a special device to help wipe his ass because he couldn't reach his ass. His bicep was too big. No, I'm not joking.
It's a really thin tree in your backyard. You just
or what's gonna happen is
sorry, Stacey. That's a visual that will haunt you.
They're gonna have to wipe the way you're not supposed to wipe, or at least the way you're taught when your mom
like don't
as a woman, don't wipe that way because you get an infection. So
Right.
I feel sorry for his girlfriend.
They just need a bidet. Then I do feel sorry for the girlfriend for real. Like they need a bidet.
He better shower real well.
They need a pressure washer.
Let's see. What do we have? We have
awesome.
It's
awesome.
Y'all are nasty.
Okay, and then Brittany wants to make something clear. Okay. Again, folks, can we call them queefs? God! Jeez, what is with this?
I once was on tour, and we were drunk after the tour. We're in Boston, and my friend Seth goes, "Are you looking at this gross shit over here?" And I go, and I turn around, and there's a girl laying on her back going, "Listen, no, it's going to happen."
Oh,
okay,
my Lord.
this is the only thing okay. I'm gonna get a little vulgar. I'm sorry, but what is it with men bending you like a pretzel? What do you think is gonna happen with all that?
The air gotta go somewhere.
The air, yeah, the air.
Gotta go somewhere.
And what's the proper etiquette of dealing with that after? It's like, do you acknowledge it? Do you say, "Oh, excuse me"? Because in reality, I didn't do that intentionally. That's all you. That is all you.
Right.
By the way, Brittany wants us to know.
Okay,
Brittany wants us to know that her husband, my cousin, wrote that, not hers. don't. Brittany did not say that. That was my cousin. Hey, Craft Crew, where's your login, buddy? Where's Craft Crew, dude? Come on, let's see a comment from that.
No. I think as a man, I think even with some of my first couple sexual experiences, that was actually something where And I swear there was a comedian too that talked about it. He's like, so should I say something or should I just play it off like I didn't hear nothing?
What is the proper etiquette? Do you go hee hee, or do you just like disregard it and go full play and have the girl completely have her self-esteem crushed in that moment? Like, what do you do?
You don't mention it. You don't mention it. That's what I've don't mention it.
I haven't,
no point.
But then my mind is there, and it's like, oh, it happened. Oh,
yeah, but you got to understand,
it ruins the mood.
If we think we were able to fill air to that much, it gives an ego boost for us. So we're not going to say anything to you. We're going to be like, yeah, I did.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Should we move on to Ask Reddit of the Week? Should we?
Yes,
definitely.
It's turned a different direction.
Hey, you know what? Just practice safe sex. Put a mask on, okay?
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
Use a straw.
Don't be silly. Wrap your willy.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
No glove, no love. Okay. Okay.
Right.
No mask. You ain't getting in the house. You get the fuck out.
Well, I will tell you that masks has made oral harder.
We're trying to get out of it, you nasty. Get out.
He's all in the nasty boat. Toot toot.
Let's change the subject. I'll go back to this though.
Yes. Well, you're feeding the demon. I'm sorry. He's inside there and he just wants to get out. Okay.
Right.
So
wow. Oh no. Okay. Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. There are more comments coming through. Ask Reddit. Can we ask Reddit?
Yes. Oh yes. We are going to.
I'm sorry. I love awkward moments. That's why last year at the White Elephant, I brought in the Kama Sutra. So
he's like, get out of this. Get out of this now. No.
Oh, it's okay. We got Reddit.
We're going, ask Reddit. Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, wait. Dan, Ronnie had a good one. No mask, no ass. I like it. It almost rhymes, or maybe it does rhyme. I don't know.
Clear.
Ben, let's get back to Jesus. Do you mean Jesus?
Okay, let's put on the other screen there. I worked harder on this time, y'all. Boom. Okay, so funny things kids said. Who wants to read the first one?
I could do it.
Yeah, all right, go for it.
All right. At like 4 a.m., then 4-year-old stepson comes into our room, wakes me up, and he says, "When you die, can I have your Legos?"
I grunt something that sounds like sure at him because it's 4 in the goddamn morning and I'm still half asleep. As he's walking away back to his room, he says, "I hope it's soon."
Let's see. My wife still finds it hilarious. I'm fairly certain I'm going to get murdered over some Star Wars Legos.
Yes, kids can be very, very creative.
Give me a Legos, Daddy.
Just remember, I was young. I really respect my stepdad, but when you're young and you're in one of those "I hate your dad" kind of moods, I drew this trap where I was gonna like dig a moat and put alligators in my room. So when he came in to tell us to go to sleep for the 15th time, he'd fall into it. Now, looking back on it, where the fuck was I gonna get the shovel or the alligators? I just don't know. It's just dumb.
The thing that came to me when I first read that is I didn't read Legos. I read, when you die, can I have your legs? I was like, oh.
This is not a story about Oscar Pistorius as a child, okay?
Oh, my bad.
Oh. Okay, let's go to the next one. Who wants to read this one?
All right, I'll go for it.
All right.
I'll preface this with my oldest son is named David. Had a little kid ring my doorbell, and when I opened the door, the little kid said, "David called me a little tattletale." The poor kid couldn't understand why I burst out laughing.
Tattling on someone being a tattletale. How coincidental. I'm not saying ironic. That's not irony. But yes, we all know someone who's done that. Who's going to read this next one?
Hey, man, snitches get stitches, right?
Oh, yeah.
Loose lips sink ships.
Look at
All right.
Takashi 69. Apparently, it just gets you more music videos.
Oh.
For now.
I'm surprised he's still alive. Like, we lost Tupac and Biggie, and then this bitch is still alive. Like,
yeah.
what?
People with really weak face tattoos drinking too much Robo. So I'll read this one. Whoa, you've got clear socks. I should get some of those. My son, 5, to the lady sitting beside him wearing nylons.
Wow.
I actually thought that when I was a kid. I go, those are awesome. Why can't I show my beautiful ankles as a child? And now I know why. It's just not a good thing to do. Hey, Dana, you want to take this next one?
Yep. Okay. 3-year-old niece, while I was driving her home one day, I knew the dinosaurs would come and get me one day. There were 2 large cranes working on a bridge.
That one's brilliant, by the way. 3 years old, and she had that's one of the one-liners I would go, damn, that is good. And
right.
I love one-liners.
She had a concept. I love it. She had a concept. She had a concept.
And then I'll read this one, I guess. When my sister was 3, she went to the cinema for the very first time. She went to watch the Paddington Bear movie with my mum. Okay, first of all, she said cinema and mum. We know this is not in America. It's across the pond.
Right.
The next day, I picked her up and I asked her what the film was like. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, they all die in the end.
Wow.
That's how I imagine the child's voice to sound.
Right.
Wow.
God, like the demon.
Yeah, she's just, they all die in the end. So, like...
Whoa. Is it like Pazazu from The Exorcist or something? What's going on
actually,
here, bro?
so the reason, just to really quickly talk about it, Stefan, you know how I learned how to growl, right? My mom
kicked you in the nuts?
No, I was like a young kid. My mom took me to see Ghostbusters, and then
Oh,
we're
I love
leaving
that
the
movie.
theater, and I look at her and go, Mom, you know what's funny? She goes, what? There's no Dana, only Zool.
Oh, I love that's one of my favorite movies of all time, the first
Yep.
Ghostbusters. Oh yeah.
So that's how I learned how to do that. I'm not having my A game right now. It takes some warm up. I'm a little older now.
That's okay. I could still understand you, so that's a plus. Sounds good to me.
This last one might be safer.
Can I read the next one?
If Dana reads the punchline.
Oh, okay.
It's just the last. Okay, so you read the top paragraph. Dana, read the last.
Oh, I'll read the top part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. My sister used to nanny for a little girl, and one time she brought said girl to one of my high school soccer games. The girl is very excited to cheer for me, but doesn't know which team I'm on. She asks my sister which color, as in jersey color, I'm playing for, and my sister tells her my team is wearing white.
From the field, all I hear is a 5-year-old girl screaming on the sideline, "Go Whiteys! We like the Whiteys, not the other people."
That's funny.
And that's when we found out she was from Alabama.
And my daughter once, we're sitting there and there's a lady just sitting next to us. My daughter looks at me, she pokes me, I go, what? And she goes, why is she so fat? That was a hard thing to deal with that day. I was like, just this little 2-year-old, Daddy, why is she so fat? And she's in earshot. And luckily the lady, bless her heart, as I don't always say, but bless her heart, she looks at me and goes, it's okay, it's innocence. And I'm like, thank you so much.
Okay. One of my friends, actually most of my friends now have kids, apparently I'm behind, but one of my friends, her son went up and said, you have really, 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 really big boobs. And my response, and I still don't think he understands this to this day, is like, thank you. I paid for them. I really hope they are.
I'm sure he so funny. Good stuff. That is good.
I haven't seen him since that day, so I don't think I should be near kids.
I used to wear my hair cut all the way, like really close, like buzzed. And one kid asked me, like, are you a girl or a boy? And this is, just when there weren't as many of us wearing our hair buzzed off, I guess, as women. And then I once overheard a kid go, Mommy, is he a girl or is he a boy? Is he a girl or is he a boy? So, I mean,
yeah,
it's fun. It's like, to me, it was funny. It's not, You know, because
Yeah.
the innocence of children, they're just, this is what we've seen. But I thought it was funny. I couldn't do anything but laugh, and
Yeah.
But
I
just
was
talking to, yeah. Oh, go ahead, Steph.
oh yeah, I was walking in Lakewood Mall out in Long Beach like you do. And this is when I had really long hair and it passed my shoulders and I had a guy hit on me. He didn't see my Adam's apple, I guess. So, I'm walking and he's
no
like,
facial
"Hey."
hair either. No facial hair.
Oh no,
either?
he only saw me from the back, so it's just my long ass hair. And so
Oh.
he's like, "Hey baby, nice ass." And I turn around and I go, "Excuse me?"
Oh, dude, that goes along with what I was gonna say, because when I had long hair, long, beautiful blonde hair, I would be driving in my car. Guys would roll up, go woo. I'd turn around and I go.
Okay. I have a similar story. Okay, so my best friend is gay, and every time we go out, we got to go where he wants, which is obviously always a gay bar. And I even made this into a bit, so if you heard it, I'm sorry. But okay, when you go to gay bars, guess who doesn't get drinks bought for? Me. Okay. But one day, this guy was like, "You're really pretty." And I was like, "Thank you." And he's like, "Oh, you're a girl." I was like, "No, that one time.
That's funny.
Hey, I got a question, y'all. Oh, wait, go ahead.
I was gonna say the second time that only a guy went up to me at a gay bar was just to ask who my surgeon was, and I was like, "Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love your lips." And I'm like, "Oh, those are actually really mine. I thought you were talking about my boobs." It's like, "Oh, very nice too. Really? They're really yours?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Hispanic." And they're like, "Oh." But that was the only time. It was when somebody thought that I wasn't a girl and who my plastic surgeon was. It was the only time a guy has gone up to me at a gay bar.
Yeah.
Wow.
I always
Wow.
think it's suspect when a gynecologist says you have nice lips.
Oh, you nasty.
Right, yeah, right about that time is when you get up out of the stirrups and smack the shit out of him. I'm like, "Oh, really? Thank you. There's something on your face. What?" And then you just fucking smack the
Well,
shit out of him.
I was really confused when they said it to me.
Were you bending over? Like, what's going on?
That's the mystery, okay?
Man, you nasty.
Oh,
So
yeah.
nasty.
Hey, I got a question. Anybody in the comments want us to continue to? Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be the show's over, but you want us to continue? Do you want us to continue? Do you want us to continue?
Dan's wanting to know if you want him to do burlesque for you, because he will do death
Oh
metal
my
burlesque.
God, you should. You should be like,
I have no idea how
make
to do.
him take some classes and be like,
Uh-oh. Brittany shows, she said, Danny's got a purty mouth.
That might be my cousin writing for her.
You got a purty mouth there, Dan. Where are you from?
So we are running late. You all want to go to the next subject, or do we want to?
We could take a vote. It's not gonna take long anyway, but we could take a vote. If
I
you
could
guys
go.
want to hear the next subject, let us know in the comments right now.
Right
Right.
now.
I'm starving. I'm so
"Oh, we
hungry.
gotta do that."
Who's buying dinner?
Oh,
Who's buying
buying
dinner?
dinner?
Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
Oh shit. Okay. No, it's
Okay.
okay.
That's okay.
We
So
can,
we can move that subject to another day, and that's
All right.
totally fine. Hey,
No, but nobody's voting. I was trying to, I mean, I'm hungry, but we're trying to see what's going down here.
oh well, Glow is asking us to continue.
Okay. It's about the people. It's about the people.
They just keep talking about my mouth. Nate Hall says yay. So
Wait.
he does the
Okay.
old timey one. He's probably smoking a pipe while he says it.
We need a close up of your mouth, Dan. Come on.
Oh.
Get closer to the camera.
Oh,
Closer
no.
To the camera. Get closer to the camera. Closer. Closer.
Okay.
Oh, God, I regret this so much.
I'm sorry. Oh, we're gonna get demonetized now. Did they just put something hairy and weird up there?
Oh my lord.
Cannibalism.
Yes, cannibalism. Hey, talking about cannibalism. No, never mind. I don't got nothing. Talking about cannibalism, did you know that the Donner Party had the worst experience for passing a joint?
Oh my Lord.
That's going to take a while.
What's the Donner Party?
You got to look that up. So it's a group of people that were traveling, and they ended up eating half of them because they were stuck in the snow over the Colorado Rockies.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
You nasty.
I'm going to send you some references, Dana, before the show where I do my Jim Jones jokes, okay?
Okay.
So before, we want to thank Sally for coming on. Thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us. And we also want to give a big thank you to everyone who tuned in and hung out with us as well. Anybody got any shows or anything they want to throw up?
Oh, you have a show tomorrow, Stefan.
Yes, I have an open mic tomorrow at noon at Flappers. So if anybody wants to do an open mic, I think there might still be openings.
Don't you have another one at night?
And then I have a nighttime open mic at Tao, right?
Is it an open mic? It looks like you're doing a show, buddy.
No, the show I have is August 28th.
28th. I was saying the show on the 28th. She's got a show. Lindsay Loon, who is a good sister friend of mine, is on the show Saturday. But then I saw where you have a show, Stefan, on the 28th. So Dow though does have shows this Saturday and not this Saturday. Is it the 14th and the 28th? So it's not. I think I've got a show, Jokes from Home, with Mayur Chauhan tomorrow. Wonderful, always amazing group of comics, and he does a great mic. Just so you guys know, he does a great open mic on Wednesdays at 6:30, and it's a mic that he does with through Second City. So always, and I just did it for the first time. But I've got a show Friday, this Friday the 14th. I got one on the 21st, but I could talk about that next week.
Yeah,
but excited about it. So you guys check it out.
The flyers on your Instagram, Dana.
Yep. It is.
Okay, I get to tell you what's going to happen. So I do have a show. I rarely do Zoom shows right now because it's different for me. There is one coming up. I'll go ahead and post it on my Instagram as soon as I remember the date. I'm so sorry. But I am so excited for next Thursday because we have our Ghost Hunters next Thursday, right?
Yeah.
You guys asked for it. You are getting your Ghost Hunters. We have some really cool. We have a couple that actually have a big following on TikTok that go to abandoned places and take videos and pictures, and they even got EMF devices. So I'm
XD
really
motherfuckers.
Yeah, this is like the closest thing to Ghost Adventures Live you got. Because let's face it, we are not getting any new TV anytime soon thanks to quarantine.
And then okay.
Okay, no. I just want to say, so next Thursday, just tune in because it's a live interaction. You can ask all the questions you want, whether Casper is real or not, whatever the hell you want to ask. We're gonna go ahead and throw it at them. So next Thursday, you get your Ghost Hunters that you asked for last week, okay? Or was it 2 weeks ago? I don't remember.
It's just every time Stacy says EMF, it just in my head goes, "You're unbelievable." Oh!
We also have a smaller guest that will be near the end for about 15 minutes next week as well. For
not,
the
not smaller, just he has the second slot.
No, that's true. Well, I mean, they're all beautiful, regardless of where everyone, everyone's beautiful. But we're gonna have Antonio I'm gonna probably say it wrong, and I apologize. How do you say it?
Is it Scarpetti? Is it? Because he was in here tonight. Is he still here?
Yeah. I don't know. But he was here earlier, and yes.
Yeah. Scarpita, Antonio Scarpita.
Okay.
And he made a documentary we're going to be showing a trailer for, and we'll have it posted and everything. And it's called, 8 weeks to 6 minutes. And it's about his journey into stand-up comedy. It's really beautiful.
But by the way, oh yes, sorry. But by the way, Stefan, you could totally say we're having a smaller guest when Brad Williams is on here, okay?
That is true.
He won't mind, Stacy.
So
he won't mind.
So our guest in the second half.
Yes. Sorry, I'm a retard. I apologize.
No, you're beautiful. You're beautiful.
Yeah, we're new.
I'm sorry.
Anyways,
yes.
no, we're not really giving crap to Stefan here. It's just we're all new at this podcast thing, and that's why we forgot last time. Sorry to say thank you, everyone who keeps watching us. Thank you to all you commenters. You come in. Thank you to Ronnie Schnoer, who's been our first. I hope I'm saying that right. You were our first comment in the entire show. Thanks for coming to every show. Thank you, Gloleva. You've been at every show. Thanks to my friend, and I don't know if he's here today, but I'm going to say thanks anyways. My friend, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting, William Davis. Thanks for showing up. Thank you, Nate Hall, my cousin, for showing up. Thank you, Craft Crew dude, for showing up. Thank you. We have some other people that are regulars. Help me out, y'all. Ben Bahad, you've been doing great today.
Oh yeah, we got Brittany Snows. We
I
got
think I said that right.
Sergio Wolf. We got Ben. We got Ronnie. We got Nate Hall.
Tonight we had Jana Calla. Jana Calla came in tonight.
Oh yeah, Jana Calla. Thank you.
Lynn Sun, our first guest ever. Our inaugural guest.
And Antonio.
Did want to let you guys know that these guys, God, I have to forget to go the opposite direction. But they're working on getting some cool merch to give. I am going to volunteer and give this merch to our regulars. So if you're one of our regulars, we might contact you and ask for your mailing address and give you merch for being so loyal and watching us. So just, keep watching the show because you're gonna get some free merch.
We're forgetting one person. Just because she's family. Lauren Bowman, thank you for watching every show.
Don't murder me in my sleep, please. I'm sorry.
No, hey.
I'm sorry.
My wife watches too, but she doesn't comment because, she usually watches later. And if you're one of the ones that watches later and lets us know, thank you very much. Because we know not everybody could be here live Thursday at 8 to 10. Some of you still like must-see TV, and that's okay.
I love. Ben said, "Can we thank Jesus?"
We can. It's okay.
Thank you, baby Jesus.
He did not comment, but that's okay.
We can. We also want to say, if you have any topics that you would like us to discuss here on air, submit those suggestions. We do have an email. It's Therapy of the Absurd. Again, Therapy of the Absurd, spelt exactly how it sounds, smashed into one word. Therapy of the Absurd @gmail.com. Okay. Woo! And then when you can, we want you all to go to YouTube, smash that subscribe, the like, the share, hit that notification bell. We want to get everybody over there too, because we have a lot of the you can watch the podcast again over there. We have the the different clips of the week, so please visit that too.
Okay, let's do a challenge. Let's say the first, how many subscribers do we have on YouTube right now?
There's like 15, 16.
15, 16. All right. Let's say the first 50 subscribers who go onto our YouTube will get a free t-shirt. Courtesy of, me, but all of us.
I'm not so sure. Do they have to contact us too, so we know?
We'll go ahead and message you on your YouTube. So the first 50 subscribers to go ahead and subscribe on YouTube, we'll message you and ask for your mailing address. You will get a free t-shirt from us.
COVID free.
Yes, COVID free.
I did not put it over this. Well, I can't. I might do that. So just careful. Wash it first.
Lynn said, "I want a T-shirt. I subscribe." So we
got 50 subscribers get a free T-shirt.
So if you're 1 through 16, you're already in. If you're 1 through 16, you're already in. So you're good. You're good.
But if you got a buddy who maybe doesn't want their T-shirt and you're trying to get 2 T-shirts, I don't know.
We'll find out.
Better get over there.
We're gonna look at the mailing address.
Yeah, somebody makes like 5 YouTube accounts. I want 5 T-shirts.
Right.
I might be gaining weight right now, so I'm going to get them in 2 different sizes.
Right.
Again, if you've already subscribed, you're already in there.
Yes,
all right,
you're good. So again, thank you everybody. We really appreciate you coming out and tuning in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have something for you that we can do now that we were not able to do before.
My cup is empty.
Think Steven Spielberg, if I can find it here.
So thank you to our friends, fans, and followers.
Sorry.
No,
Oh,
it's okay.
sorry. My apologies.
Oh, Steven Spielberg. Wait, what did Steven Spielberg do for us?
Oh,
Wait, did he give us a black and white trailer with only one red
thank
element?
you.